You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast, the next stage in human evolution, with your host, Safan, dropping knowledge in every podcast. Let's start the show.
Hi guys, this is another Highly Evolved Podcast. I just want to make another short video for you guys. Today, I'm in this area in my hometown. There's a lot of poverty and stricken, homeless people. It's a lot of depressions, and there's not that much opportunity being passed around in this area. There's homeless people walking around. It's a slum, basically. It's a United States version of a slum. Basically, the ghetto. That's what it is. I want to touch on the subject of maybe poverty or homelessness. The majority of the homelessness, are basically, in my opinion, lack of ambition. But there are, not to say that there aren't legitimate homelessness. The majority of the homelessness around here are basically mental illnesses, and I understand that part. When you have mental illnesses, it's hard to get over that because it's mental health. Mental health is still in its pubescent stage of researches. People are still trying to find what's the solution for mental health illnesses. But besides that, there's other reasons why people are homeless. There's people that fell into the crack by lack of jobs, unemployment. Yeah, that's understandable. Those are understandable reasons for homelessness. But I want to touch on the subject of taking over the system homelessness, like abusing the system. Like you just can't elude the fact that people do take advantage of the system. Like at where I'm from California, so we have all these social benefits around our states, and we provide all these benefits for legitimate reasons. Because, there are reasons why people can't perform a certain task, and there are reasons why people are in the situation they're right now. But there are other factors that people do take advantage of the system, not because they are unable, just because they don't want to, because they realize that, if you're getting free stuff anyway, why even bother to work? Why even bother to put in effort? It's the free stuff, the giving out free stuff, California's socialistic ideas by helping. I don't want to say helping people is not a bad thing. Of course, you want to help people. You want to help people as best as they can. But some people aren't willing to help themselves. That's one point I want to make. That if people aren't willing to help themselves, you can't do anything, because this is their own free will of not wanting to be helped. They want to be in this position because, I don't want to say lethargy or, lack of ambition, drive or inspiration. Is basically, in my perspective, I think it's the free stuff. The free stuff is like an enabler. It enable people to give you an excuse not to work as hard as they should. And another factor that I want to point out is that people are too nice. Well, not too. I'm not saying niceness is a bad thing. I'm saying some people exploit other people niceness. Okay, like people panhandling off the freeway. That's what I see recently. Recently, on my block, on my city, I seen homeless people communicate with each other, orchestrated a panhandling strategy. Like each of them are on each four corners panhandling a certain time, then they rotate to another corner, then they rotate. So I already seen the strategy they they use, and people don't realize that. They see people begging on the street. That's a reasonable cause. And one thing that people don't know, that when you panhandle, you actually make more on a busy day, on a busy intersection, on busy foot traffic place with a lot of foot traffic. You can actually make more money just by appealing to people's sympathy, and people fall for it and give it to them. In my opinion, when you give people money, especially money, it increase people in ability to not want to work. You know, that's why I don't believe in giving money, but give like resources like food, water, and articles of clothing, stuff people may need in life. You know, the necessity. But money, as homeless people, I don't really see that that's a probable cause, because with money they could use it as anything. They could use this as what they could use it to buy narcotics, alcohol, or who knows, what, anything, you know. But with food, they can only use it for one thing and just consume. If they don't want it, that's their own free will. You know what type of person they are. If you hand them food and they deny the food, by default, you can already assume what type of person they are. Because if you're really hungry, really desperate, really fell into the crack, food is the number one resource that you want, you know. But not to say money doesn't give them a reason to buy food. I mean, sure, some homeless people use money to buy food, but not just food. There's other things that you can use money for. That's why, in my personal opinion, when people panhandle, I don't give them no money. Not just because I'm a bad guy. It's because that money is not the solution to be given out to people. Maybe a sandwich. I'll go out there and buy a sandwich, buy a meal for them, buy some water. You know, that's what I do. You know, if they were to panhandle in front of a store, I'll go in the store, buy them a meal, and just give it to them. But not money. Money is the worst thing to be given out. And in this day and age, homelessness are causing a huge problem because people lack a respect for people's property. You know, I mean, sure, you want to be nice, you want to be, you know, charitable, but yet again, some of these people have so much psychological damages. They're not taking care of their home, their places, so they pee or defecate anywhere they want, and that's a sign of lack of respect for the community, because your people aren't kicking you out of this community. At least you could do is not defecate and urinate in private, and that's how ghetto are formed, because people lack a responsibility and accountability for their own community. You know, if people would actually take care of the community and respect their community, ghetto wouldn't exist at all. The ghetto is the lack of depression, the lack of hopelessness, right? Not lack of hopelessness, the lack of hope. But hopelessness do make people not care where they are and where they're living. And oppression play a key role in that too. And because of all these factors combined, people just don't care about the community, and, you know, trash out the place. And I don't condone that. You know, like, it's what do you think about this? Your kitchen table. Do you defecate on your kitchen table? You eat on your kitchen table and you defecate it? That wouldn't make any sense. You live in your neighborhood. You should not destroy your neighborhood just because of unfair thing, because you live in your neighborhood, you know, or destroy in any other neighborhood for that matter. You know, I understand, you know, nature take its course by, you know, weed growing and all that stuff. But yet again, I don't understand why people litter, why people defecate, I mean, of course I know why people defecate, but why they have to choose a public area to defecate? They can't find any, you know, foliage, shrub or bushes. But no, I mean, I've seen a lot of this stuff going around in urban areas. I mean, we have to address this issue, because if we don't address this issue, it will never be solved. And homeless and let me say, Mental illnesses is a really big problem when it comes to homelessness. We don't provide any service to mental illnesses. We do in a way, but not as much as we should. In the 1950s, there was a lot of mental institutions that helped mental illnesses. Now, it reduced down after the 80s, I think. Maybe the 80s during the Reagan administration, and the ACLU said that keeping people in refined places are not civil liberty because it restricts people from living freedom. This is where one of the reasons why we shut down mental institutions, because of the ACLU ideology of that confining people in an institution are basically restricting of the civil liberty. But see what happened. And look what happened right now by stripping the institution. I mean, I'm not saying institutionalized is a good thing, but it provides people with a service that we don't have to deal with people living outside in poverty. It provides people with shelter. It provides people with resources, and if we implement it right, is a good thing. But sometimes these institutions are not implemented right. There's abuses, there's negligence, there's unfair treatment, and people don't take the account. It's people own selfish reasons because of this, and people inability to care and use and have a right thought process of what might happen. If people would just communicate with each other better, look out for each other, back, society wouldn't be in this problem. Like Confucius said, if you rob and pillage in your own neighborhood, would that be a desirable place to live? No, it would not be a desirable place to live. Who would want to live in a place where people rob and pillage each other every day? Because that's not a civil society. That's not a society in the right state of mind, because there's no benefit in that. I mean, I just want all these homeless. I don't want to say homeless people to go away, because homeless people are still people as well, too. Say that homeless people are still people. I just want people to have better thought process and realize their situation and take accountability for their action. That's reflected in my other video, accountability. People aren't taking accountability. If you mess up in life, you have to somehow find a way to get yourself out of the hole. And don't say that there aren't resources. There's plenty of resources. It's just that you have to go out there and get it. People aren't willing to do that because people, I don't want to say they're lazy. No, I don't want to say they're lazy. They're the lack of ambition. They don't want to put in the effort of going and find that one thing that helped them out of this pit. All said and done, I just want you guys to know that, it's okay to have this idea. It's okay to spread what's on your mind about this. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm not right or wrong. This is my opinion. This is how I feel about this situation. I mean, if you're a free spirit, like to help people, a nice person, I'm sure you wouldn't want to see people out in the street. Who wouldn't want to see people else? I mean, who would want to see anybody in this situation? Nobody don't want to see nobody in this situation, okay? But there are some people who take advantage of the system, some people who are enabling them to do this, and some people who don't have the right thought process and cannot realize what are they doing in society. There's people who living with advantages and disadvantages. And I'm for one say I live in a world where I live my life was full of disadvantages. I have to overcome a lot of oppression, but I realize that I'm able to get myself out of this situation if I put effort into it and get out of the situation. It's not impossible. There's a lot of examples where people got out of oppression. It's not an unachievable task, okay, guys. And on that note, I just want to leave you guys that just be good people. Try to understand your own situation. Try to understand people's situation, and no answer is no right answer. Okay, the only answer is facts and data. That's probably the only right answer. But when it comes to opinion, there's no right or wrong opinion. This is basically an opinion based on what I think, what I've seen by my own personal experiences. You might have different Sorry, that's my phone. You might have different opinion, but that's your own opinion. You're entitled to it. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to show you what's going on in my mind and what I think about what's going on. And to say that my answer is the only answer and not consider that anybody else's answer is the wrong answer, that's very egotistical of myself of saying that. I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit I'm my fault. If I see that that what I'm saying is wrong, I'm willing to admit to that. I mean, I'm not always right. We're all human. We don't have all the answers. Okay? We do not possess all knowledge in this universe. There are still stuff that we still trying to learn. We are in this together. We're going through the thing called life. Okay, but on that note, I just want to end it here. Like, share, subscribe if you want. If not, I'm okay with that. And you guys have a good day. Peace.